What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a good day, and I hope you're having a good week. As always, I want to talk about the story today. It looks like 50 Cent says to vote for Trump because he's not happy with the Biden tax plan. Looks like he was watching television and he saw the amount of taxes that people in his bracket would have to pay if Joe Biden won, and he tweeted out, "What the F, vote for Trump, I'm out, F the New York Knicks, they never win anyway." I'll read his whole tweet later. We'll wait a few minutes for everybody to get in, but that's the story of the day. We'll see if it moves the needle and what's going on. To people who were here before, sorry I had a little error, so I had to relaunch the live stream. Hopefully everyone comes back. God bless you guys. I'm gonna sip my coffee too, it's delicious, but that's the story of the day. Entrepreneur and rapper 50 Cent seems to have lost it over Democrat tax policies. And as people are coming in, I just want to remind a lot of the people in the comments, some people were pro-Trump, some people were saying, well, that's just, 50 Cent. Of course, he doesn't want to pay taxes because he's wealthy, and, it's for the little people. California has some of the highest taxes. They have some of the bluest senators and House members and Congress members, etc. And paying a lot of taxes, even if you're upper class or middle class, whatever, own a business, it doesn't translate to the poorer and the lower and working class, etc., getting more money. That's unfortunately not how it works. So I see a lot of people confused in the comments, and rightfully so. You're allowed to disagree with me and have your own politics, but people think just because 50 Cent gets taxed a lot, or Oprah gets taxed, or whoever it is, that they're going to get all the money. The money doesn't go to you. It doesn't get mailed in a check to your house. It goes to the federal government. And in places like California, of course, they have high taxes, but they also have the highest poverty because they tax you if you make money. They tax your small business. They say that they're going to raise taxes or keep taxes the same. Lower taxes for people that are working, but that's never the case. So I'm going to read it. What's going off? Matt, that's exactly right. I'm going to sip on my coffee. I just made it, and then we'll get into it. Christine says, Chicago mayors raising taxes too. When will they learn? They don't learn. They just keep getting money. But this is fundamental as well. Why they don't learn, if you have a business and your business is not making money, you will know. If you're the federal government, you could waste $1 billion. In California, they spent over $1 billion on homelessness. They didn't stop homelessness. They didn't slow homelessness. They did a horrible job just wasting taxpayer money. They get more taxpayer money next year. So there's a systemic reason that they never really learn, because they don't have to learn. They're funding programs off of your dime, funneling money to their friends and contractors. And for some reason, people who vote left-wing think that just because rich people pay more taxes to the government, that it's going to translate into them getting more money. That's not what happens, and you could see that in certain blue states. But some do a good job of funding schools and police, but most don't. All right, let's get into it, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Before I start, really quick, I just want to say a special F-you. I don't curse, but a special F-you to Facebook. My videos are barely getting any views anymore. If you guys followed me for a while, when I do these square videos, they get hundreds of thousands of views. I mean, I was averaging between 300,000 to 2 million views per video, and now they're getting under 100,000. Facebook throttled my reach. This is not a conspiracy theory. I'm not guessing they're shadow banning me like a lot of people. I know they are. They've said they are. And the reason is because they fact-checked me over an NBC article, a CDC screenshot from Ron DeSantis, and also a comedy video. And they've taken all those fact-checkers, even though I've proved to their team they're all wrong. I can't post this NBC article. They don't care. They don't answer me. They say it's resolved. They're throttling me before an election, and they've completely almost destroyed my page. I mean, it's still a big page because we have a lot of people here, and I still get thousands of shares and thousands of views, but it's a little disappointing to know the reason that my videos went from getting millions of views to less than 100,000 views is not because of my own work ethic. It's not because of my skill set. It's not because my videos have gotten worse. It's not because it's not topical. It's strictly because Facebook has rigged my page. So instead of having 6,000 viewers live, I'll have 2,500, which I'm grateful for. But instead of 300,000 views, I have 30,000 views. They're throttling my reach because they're scumbag, loser, evil, coward, complete pieces of trash who know that they're doing it. They have no problem trying to ruin my career. They have no problem trying to ruin what I've worked. They have no problem rigging the entire flow of information like authoritarian communists. They know they're wrong. They simply don't care. These are evil, sick people. I'm so tired of these cowards, and it's just disappointing how hard I've worked to have it completely destroyed by Facebook, purposely doing it, knowing they're doing it. So a special F you to Facebook. I haven't let it get to me, but I've been watching my videos and seeing the reach just get completely destroyed when I spend hours on my videos and knowing that it's you doing it because you told me you're doing it. These people are disgusting, evil demons. I hope you have a hard time sleeping at night because you deserve it for all the sick stuff you do to humanity. But story for today is a little more entertaining and funny. It's about 50 Cent, the rapper and entrepreneur. Hold on, I gotta pull it up because it fell off real quick. Let me see, 50, I gotta type it in. Cent, someone said 50 Shades of Grey, that's not it, we don't wanna click on that. He said, what the F, vote for Trump, I'm out. F the New York Knicks, they never win anyway. I don't care about Trump, I don't care that Trump doesn't like black people. 62% of y'all are out of your mind. He's referring to the 62% tax rate that I guess CNBC or whatever he was watching said about the Biden rate for his tax bracket. And, you know, he's not having it. So he told his audience to vote for Trump. Maybe he's going to vote for Trump, thinking with his wallet as opposed to with his social, you know, justice, emotional stuff. I know he said that Trump is racist. I don't think so. I think he's wrong, and I think he just buys into the media narrative. But I am glad to see him challenge the status quo and realize that getting taxed that much is insane. For every black celebrity, whether it's LeBron James, 50 Cent, whoever, paying that much to the federal government just feels sick. I mean, over 50%, you're giving half of your money, more than half of your money, to the federal government. And this is what I hope that people who listen to rap music, to people who watch NBA, people who watch television, what they seem to think is, I want wealthy people to lose their money because that's going to make me richer. The wealthy people have too much. 50 Cent has too much money. We need the government to take his money, and then the government's going to spread it around and create a peaceful society. It doesn't work that way. California, some of the highest taxes, the bluest, most Democrat state, and you have the highest poverty, one of the most out-of-control homelessness populations. They can't seem to figure it out because it doesn't translate when you give the government your money. The government doesn't have to give it back to the people, and they often waste it because they can get away with it. Because if they waste your money, the next year they get more of your money. Every year they get billions of dollars in taxes, so it doesn't matter how good of a job they do, they never have a penalty. And you see how corrupt they are, blaming Trump for everything that they did. These people never get held accountable for anything. So people need to break this habit of, I'm reading the comments and seeing people say, well, 50 Cent needs to give up his money. He's just mad because he's wealthy. You think 50 Cent paying the government is going to get you money? This is the reason why you never make it or never get out of a bad situation, because that's not how it happens. And how it does happen is people like 50 Cent leave. If 50 Cent leaves New York, that's millions of dollars in taxes every year that New York's not going to get. And then say a bigger billionaire leaves, then that's tens of millions of dollars that they don't get in taxes. And then say a big corporation goes to Mexico or China or South Dakota or Texas, like Elon Musk and Joe Rogan are talking about doing in Texas. Now you've just lost not only tens of millions of dollars in taxes, but you've lost tens of thousands of jobs. So this is what Democrats don't understand. They're driving people out of their cities, driving people out of their states, because nobody wants to pay their taxes and you don't have to. And then who ends up having to foot the bill? It's going to be the working people. And I could tell you, before Trump, when I had no money, Democrats were stealing my money. They were stealing my money in California. They were stealing my money with health insurance. They were stealing my money with penalties. Everywhere I go, getting taxed for this, taxed for that. It's not just the wealthy. It's a total lie that it's only people like 50 Cent getting taxed. And then also, when they do get the money in general, it's not spent properly, but it's not guaranteed that they're going to get that. People can leave, people do leave. So you need a system that, yes, people who have a lot of money aren't getting away scot-free, but at the same time, it incentivizes people to stay in the area, the city, the country, so then the taxes will get paid. But I don't understand how people don't get that yet. I'm glad that 50 Cent's making people think, but I have seen they think he's just a selfish guy. Hopefully other people are thinking like that and Trump can pull out some numbers. But it's good to see a high-profile celebrity who doesn't mind talking shit say, vote for Trump. Even if he's joking, maybe he's not, maybe doesn't matter. I mean, that's pretty big. And I hope a lot of people start to see more of that with people like 50 Cent and Ice Cube, etc. They're challenging the status quo. They're realizing what the Democrats are doing. And the crazier they get, hopefully more and more people realize that. I mean, how many of these celebrities want to wear a mask forever? How many of these celebrities and rappers want to not be able to do live shows? Probably Texas and Florida will open up your live shows a lot quicker than California. The California Disney is getting tens of thousands of people laid off. The Disney in Florida is opened up and more jobs were saved. How long are celebrities going to want to just sit and watch the country just fall apart because they can't open and live normally? How long is it going to be until some celebrity questions the fact, the dumbest thing in this COVID, you have to wear a mask for 5 seconds when you walk into a restaurant? Wear a mask for 5 seconds and then take it off when you sit down? What science is it? This is not science. This is like slave conditioning. It's like, let's see how stupid people are. You're putting a mask on for 5 seconds. And then you walk and you sit down in your seat and then you take it off. Is that 5 seconds you're a super spreader? And then when you're sitting down in a group of 4, you're not? There is no science. This is a power control. They're stealing power. They're making rules. And none of these idiot celebrities are questioning them. They just like, wear a mask like me. You don't wear a mask. The people who go to the games wear a mask and you play the game without a mask. So it's like they want rules for you, not for them. You got people sitting in air conditioning telling their workers in hot weather to wear a mask? Are you kidding me? Like, do you know how hard it is to work hard labor in a summer in a hot state? Let alone if you have a mask on your face? I'm sorry. What's the science behind this? Wear it for 5 seconds before you sit down. And not a single person questions this. So hopefully, it's a little off tangent, but hopefully we can find more celebrities questioning what's going on, not just in the country with COVID, but also what's going on with tax rates, with the Democrat Black Lives Matter. You give hundreds of millions of dollars to these organizations. Where does it go? Is it building infrastructure in Chicago? Does it have a systemic plan to get the culture and the mindset on the right path? Probably not. It's probably getting funneled to a lot of organizations that tell people to vote for Democrat. So if you do make it out of a bad situation, like a 50 Cent or LeBron James, they steal all your money. And it's not going to the black community. It's not going to this and that. It goes directly to the federal government. It goes to the state of California, to the state of New York. And 50 Cent's got it right. Why would he want to give his money as a successful black man to politicians in New York? Like, they're going to be able to solve it with his money? Give me a break. They could lose the amount of money he pays in 5 seconds and never face consequences. I want to say this before I read some questions. This is why government doesn't spend properly, because first of all, they just brainwash people into hating right-wing people. So it's like I don't like Mitch McConnell, but it's like Mitch McConnell, Trump, that's all they care about. Fox News, Bill O'Reilly. Meanwhile, they get billions, sometimes trillions of taxpayer dollars. No one pays attention to what they do. What person's talking about the homelessness in California? Pretty much nobody. They spent billions of dollars to do nothing, and they don't have to do anything because the next year they get that money. If you're a billion-dollar company and you waste $1 billion, you're probably going to go bankrupt. It's a lot harder as a private company to make mistakes like that. And I'm not trying to make the government versus corporation sort of thing as far as like, oh, corporations are the best. No, they're corrupt too. But government doesn't learn for a specific reason. Even the most corrupt company still has more accountability than a government that just gets your money every year, no matter how much they waste, no matter how much they squander. They could let it go away, so they're incentivized to just distract and divide and, send people running all over. George Floyd, it's like, what about, what the government of Minneapolis is doing? Did anybody question who runs that city or where they're spending their money or why, perhaps, the unions are protecting bad people? Or these are questions that you don't even get to hear asked because people just follow whatever the media says, and the media is essentially a PR team for these politicians who waste billions of dollars a year. So thank you, 50 Cent, for raising the question and the debate about should anybody want to pay over half of their money, no matter how much you make, to the federal government, not to the hood, not to people you're giving out $5, $10 to the federal government, who then their track record is miserable, whether it's dropping bombs or just wasting money on projects that don't work. They never learn, and apparently a lot of people never learn. But it's good to see some celebrities saying vote for Trump. I don't care if he's joking. I really don't care if he thinks Trump is racist or not. The fact that he's identifying that is a big step, I think, for popular culture. But it's going to keep changing. There's a lot of people who are really, gaining traction. And I'll end on this, then I'll really answer questions. I'm a little disappointed today because, I work hard and then my videos are just getting throttled. And it's like, this was the movement, and it still is, of people who are outperforming celebrities, outperforming rappers and news hosts. I mean, I was top 10 on Facebook every day, and I knew they were going to steal it from me because they want a puppet that they can control, whether it be a musician or whether it be a news station they can control. So this was the counter movement, and now it's like, where does it go from here? Because people are obviously rejecting the old BS and asking questions, but Twitter and Facebook and Google and Instagram are doing everything they can to just herd the sheep right back in the direction, herd you right back, and basically make it impossible for anybody to do their job. So I hope that now that the Republicans got censored, I hope that they're serious about it, and I hope it's not too late, because if these companies get their way, Facebook, Instagram, Facebook who owns Instagram, Google, and YouTube, they're going to create like a communist authoritarian slave state, which they're already doing, where I can have my entire career. Like imagine if Tucker Carlson got the plug pulled and he only reached 20% of what he was reaching. Everyone would be freaking out. They'd be like, that's crazy. But barely any conservatives are backing me up because it's happening to everybody. But at the same time, I mean, I have 400, 500 million views. Candace Owens got discovered through my page. Brandon Straka blew up through my page. A lot of these icons on the right, I helped get them from here to here, and they know that, and they appreciate me for that. And I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, when something hits me, a hub that is, 500, 600 million views or whatever I've gotten, nobody really comes to say anything or do anything. It's like, what if Sean Hannity went overnight from getting 5 million and the television cut his news network so it could only reach 500,000? Everybody would be up in arms, but that's what Facebook's doing. They're trying to shift this election, and they're trying to take out people's knees so anybody that isn't controllable can't say what they want to say. This is like living in communist China. It's like, well, Anomaly tells the truth. Well, let's take away 90 or 80% of his reach or whatever they're doing. And it's very annoying because I worked really hard to get here. And, unfortunately, I'm not tied in with a bunch of lawyers and groups like all these people, which is why I'm so honest. People could say, well, you should do this, you should do that. If I did all that, I wouldn't be me. I wouldn't be here. If I was these type of people who are, half on conservatives and the other half, they're just shilling and lying and stuff and selling ads, then I probably wouldn't be able to do the content that I did. So, that's why I'm a little annoyed today, because I'm looking at my numbers and I'm like, dude, they've cut out 80% and people don't identify what they're doing. So as people are waking up, they're trying to shut it down. It's a crazy huge election, and I have to agree with 50 Cent. Vote for Trump. He's the only rational option for 100,000 reasons. And maybe I'll make a video next week and explain why I feel that way. But I'll read some comments. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. And I'll see what I can do. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate it. Hopefully. Someone said it's a knockoff Lakers jersey. LOL, I see the logo. If you want to know the story behind this Lakers jersey, I'm not a huge Lakers fan, but I did live in LA. I went to a Lakers game. I had a box seat thanks to my friend, and they gave, I don't know if you can see, but it's a Shaquille O'Neal jersey. They gave it to me at the seat. So is it a knockoff jersey? Probably. It was free Shaquille O'Neal jersey day. So yeah, I'm not spending $150 on a Laker jersey. I got it for free because I sat in a box seat or went to the right game. So is it a knockoff? Probably. I don't know. They probably didn't give everybody a fancy jersey. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate it. All right, we'll read a few more and then I'll take off. What's the best way to send you donations? I don't need your money. I mean, I have my links posted to the top somewhere. You can find them if you want, but the money, honestly, obviously they cut out a lot of money for me, and that was annoying, because if you knew how much money I was making on Facebook ads and how much they took away, it is sickening. But what's even worse, to be honest, the worst part about this, because I wasn't even mad at the money. The day that it happened, it was annoying, but I was over it. I was hanging with my family. I was like, yeah, it's okay. I'll make money otherwise. What really ticks me off is the reach. The money I'll get otherwise. The reach, what can I do? I make the greatest video in the world. They won't show it to people. And I'm not somebody who cries victim and says, oh, shadow banning. I know how Facebook works. I know how algorithms work. I know when other people are lying. What they did, they explained it to me, so I can't reach people. I could say the greatest thing in the world, but they won't show it to people. I have almost 2 million followers, but I can't reach those people. They've said behind the scenes, we're limiting your reach because you're fake news. What's fake news? And then they said an NBC article, so they're calling NBC fake news, a CDC article. These people are such demons. They're so full of shit. And I told their team, you demonetized me and stole all my traffic because I posted a CDC article from Ron DeSantis, and an NBC News article that quotes the CDC. That's my crime, and they don't give a fuck. Excuse my language. They don't give a fuck. They just stole 80% of my audience, or 70%, whatever it is. I can't reach people, so what can I even do about it? I can make the greatest content in the world, but Facebook won't show it to people. I mean, they've screwed over my whole page that I worked my ass off to getting to this point, and there's nothing I could do. Unless a lawyer wants to help me, but none of these lawyers want to help me. They help everybody else that I've helped, but nobody wants to turn around and give me it. It's such bullshit. And I have the best case of all of them. It's not even like everything they've done to me is lied to me and libeled me. Every single thing is libel. They said I said something I never did and shut down a CDC article. There's no way this holds up in court, but I don't know what to tell you. I can only say what I want. I've said a million times that I would like representation, but nobody gets back to me, so it's fine. So I'm just going to work my ass off and have Facebook demons take 80% of my traffic away, so I'm talking to a brick wall half the time. Someone said Facebook and Twitter having court subpoenas for blocking news on Hunter, and I just want to, while I'm in a semi-bad mood, I just want to call out the GOP cowards like Jim Jordan, who Jim Jordan talks big shit all the time in Congress. Oh, I'm Jim Jordan. This liar is taking money from Google. So Tucker Carlson grilled him on it. He said, how much could you be fighting big tech when you're taking money from Google? And Jim Jordan says, well, we need to win the election. And Tucker Carlson had the right answer. He said, Jim, how do we win the election when they're rigging the election? How can you win the election when 90% of your audience is getting shadow banned? You have White House people. It wasn't until the GOP got attacked. They got their own link and at New York Post on Twitter, and then all of a sudden they pulled Jack Dorsey in. They could have done this 2 years ago. They had the House, they had the Senate. This was bad 6 months ago. People have been getting banned all year, and it's gotten worse and worse and worse, but we confronted them 4 months ago, and they did nothing. They sat on their tails like the cowards they are, taking money from Google, lying to you. You're like, Jim Jordan's so cool. No, he's not. He's taking money from Google, and he didn't do shit until his own people got censored. Now they could subpoena Jack Dorsey. Why didn't he do it 4 months ago? Because they don't give a shit. How are you going to win an election when every single... It's like winning an election when if the telephone companies were deleting, hey, I'm voting for Trump, and they just turn off your cell phone. That's the point, how much power and control they have right now. They control most of the flow of information in the country right now, and it's being cut off and rigged, and they haven't cared for years. So, you know, yeah, they're bringing Jack Dorsey in a week before the election. People have already voted. They're such cowards, and they're so shitty at their job. But you know, I'm not trying to blame Jim Jordan for everything, but it's like, you know, now they're all pissed off because it happened to them. What about when it happened to everyone else 2 years ago and last year? They didn't do shit because they don't care until it happens to them. So it's a little late for the Jack Dorsey subpoena. It's 2 weeks before the election. But, you know, hopefully something happens with it. We'll see. And someone said, we need you to keep going. I'm going to keep going, and now I'm killing it now I'm getting more views on Instagram because they rigged my Facebook, so now my Instagram's crushing, but Facebook owns Instagram. So how long is it going to be until Facebook rigs my Instagram? They already did rig my Instagram. You go to it, it's Orwellian, you see my video blocked out. They said Biden never had a rally. I never said it was a rally. He had an event, and no one was outside, and it was funny because Trump has an event, even if he's going to a donor meeting behind closed doors. He did that the other day, and he's got hundreds of people outside. That's the whole story. They're such scum demons. And GOP waited till a week before because I don't know what they're doing, but whatever. We'll see what happens. It's just annoying. Someone said, why are children being shot? Someone got executed in Atlanta. I'm not sure, but I mean, a lot of these cities aren't safe. A city or a town, it's the net sum of the people there. And if you have shitty people in your city or shitty people in your town, you have shitty results. I'm not trying to be rude. Of course, poverty has something to do with it, but for the most part, there's other poor areas where people don't act like that. I mean, who wants to live in a community where you don't even respect your neighbors or have the decency to not shoot somebody? So I have no idea what's going on there. There's a lot of parts of America that are not safe. So if you're trying to raise a family, it's doable, but there's other communities and suburbs that are probably much safer, or the country, to be honest. Someone said, yep, the Aussie Patriot movement was the first to get blacklisted, then Laura Loomer, etc. And a lot of these people, I'll tell you, even I want to say this too, because now everyone's like, look what happened to the New York Post. I don't dislike the New York Post. I like the New York Post, but they wrote an article a year ago about Alex Jones getting censored. And when Alex Jones got censored, they were trying to make the argument that it's just Alex Jones. And New York Post was like, well, if I had a social media, I'd ban Alex Jones too. They wrote a whole op-ed about how they didn't want to break up big tech because it was just Alex Jones. This is what you deserve. I'm sorry, and I hate to be rude, but the GOP deserves to get censored. When you throw other people under the bus and you don't believe in the First Amendment, or you don't think big tech's a big deal, they're rigging the election. And Jim Jordan says on Tucker's like, how are you going to win the election if you can't even communicate? And he's like, well, we won 2016, which is true. But if they did this in 2016, which they did, and then they went further and further and further and further and further, at a certain point, you're going to run out of room and you're going to lose. I pray that they win, but it's like you had 4 years to get rid of this. He's saying they did it in 2016 too. It's 10 times as bad now because they lost, so they want to win. And if you're in power, you should do something about it. But they didn't. They didn't do anything until their link, the GOP official government link, got blocked on Twitter. Then they did something. But this is why people lose stuff in this country. If you're a Republican and you don't even believe in the First or Second Amendment, you don't get the First or Second Amendment. So I think this is my one critique of a lot of the Trump movement. There's a lot of people who say, trust the plan, and Trump's, JFK Jr. It's like, they're just, Trump's going to save my day. No, you at a certain point as a taxpayer, as a citizen, as a conservative, as whatever you want to call yourself, a truth teller, or a freedom fighter, or a libertarian, you have to demand it, okay? So you had 4 years to demand it, but everybody's like, oh, Trump's JFK Jr. So it's like, of course you get nothing because you thought Bill Barr was Batman, and he's not. You thought Durham was Superman. You thought Jeff Sessions was like Spider-Man, and none of them are. I'm not saying they're bad people, but they weren't doing what you theorized that they were doing. And at a certain point, you have to be the change. You have to demand, if every Republican voter says, we're not voting for you unless you get rid of big tech. They had the Senate and the House for 2 years with no Democrats. And then Nancy Pelosi took over the House. What's going to happen if they lose the presidency or they lose the House and the Senate and it's Trump with the House? They're going to impeach Trump. So people don't realize, and I think Trump will still win the election, but at a certain point, they're playing a numbers game with demographics that you can't talk about, but also they're playing a numbers game with data. For instance, if you have an email list of 200,000 people, you can almost guarantee if you're selling a targeted product, I could sell this many, I'm going to make this much money. You can really understand a lot through all the data. So if Facebook and Google, which they do, they have all your data, your cards numbers, what you buy. They know everything to such a sick degree, they'll give you an ad for something that you just thought of in your head and it comes on your screen because they have all your data. So with all that data, with all that power, with the flow of communication, they're now trying to rig this election 20 times as much as they did in 2016. And trust me, they tried then too, just not as hard. They're so unethical. They don't believe in anything. They believe in power. So what I'm saying is this needed to be nipped in the bud 2 years ago because now, hopefully Trump wins, but say he loses by a close election. I pray that it doesn't happen. I don't think it will. But if he does, you can add all that to the reason that he did, among other things. It's like when you forfeit your right to communication and people like myself and anybody with my point of view get slashed by 80% and then they're promoting their people plus 80%, that's millions of people it's reaching. That's tens of millions of people. So we have the truth on our side. We have God on our side. But they have every trick in the book. And this is stuff that should have got done. I pray it's a red wave. And when it is, people need to stop circling theories in their head about how Bill Barr is like, Nikola Tesla coming to like save you with free energy. It's like, I like Nikola Tesla. I like free energy. But at a certain point, you have to demand free speech. All the QAnon trust the planners, they all got kicked off social media. I wish they didn't, but I'm just saying it's kind of ironic. They're like, Trump's going to save us. No one's coming to save you. None of the GOP cares about you. Bill Barr doesn't care about you. Durham doesn't care about you. Jeff Sessions doesn't care. None of these people care. They didn't care until the GOP website got. They condemned you a week ago. So it's like all these people do so much to support the Republicans, and then when it comes time for them to have their First Amendment right or their ability to speak in an open platform, they get axed. And it wasn't until they got hit that they actually cared. It's nuts. But, it's a tough game, but that's what's going on. I'm going to read some comments and then I'm going to take off. Let's see. My coffee's just so good. I make good coffee. Let's see what you guys are like arguing with each other. I'm not going to read that. Richard said, I have had 6 mail-in ballots sent to me with my name and my address. Here's another thing, Richard. Big tech for over a month now. They didn't subpoena Jack Dorsey until, a week ago? They've had months that they've been censoring the president of the United States. They censored somebody on his science team. You can't be a scientist who disagrees with them. You can't talk about mail-in ballots. It's no theory that I think Charlie Kirk got, targeted on Twitter yesterday, and unfortunately it's karma for Charlie Kirk because he's Mr. Cancel Culture himself. I stand up for free speech. Unless you're too far right, then I'm going to call you racist, anti-Semite, and then you get banned on Twitter. It's like, yeah, that's what happens when you don't believe in the rules that you tell everybody you believe in. But in general, he's talking about mail-in ballots. He gets censored. Trump, it's no secret that something could happen. Like, yes, some of it's safe, some of it's not. This has never been done before. You're allowed to have a perspective, even if it's an opinion, about whether you think it's safe or not. Tulsi Gabbard wrote some sort of bill or act years ago saying she wants paper-backed ballots because she knows that it's not fair. Tulsi's a Democrat. She understands that this election's BS, but you can't say this election's BS because these people are authoritarian psychopath communists. They don't want you to be able to think what they tell you not to think. They don't want you to be able to say what they don't want you to say. So who are these Republican idiots in the House or with the Senate or wherever they are who have done nothing to raise awareness about this all year? What happened in April when they tried to have a lockdown protest and Facebook shut down the live stream for the lockdown protest? That was almost just as bad as what they're doing with the New York Post. You know the difference? It affected everyday citizens instead of the GOP. The GOP doesn't give a fuck about you guys. And I'm sorry to curse. I'm a little heated up today. But people are like, well, it just happened now. It's been happening all year. They shut down a live stream because people said they didn't want to be treated like a slave. They're like, I don't want to be trapped in my house. They trapped you in your house. They told you can't go anywhere. You're going to die. They shut down your businesses. They made, the freaking supermarket look like a haunted house. And then months later, they told you to get outside. So they trapped you in your house. And then if you went outside to protest and get air, which is healthier, they shut your stream down in April. And GOP did nothing. They said nothing. They are total cowards. So if they lose this election, they deserve to. I hope they win because they're obviously better than Democrats. But it's like, how could you let this happen in an election year? Are you purposely sabotaging yourself? Are you guys idiots? Or you just so have your head up your own ass that you can't see straight? And I don't know which one it is because my favorite people seem to all be sellouts. It's like Jim Jordan. I liked him. He's taking money from Google and he didn't do shit. And Tucker Carlson called him out a month ago. How are you taking money from big tech and fighting big tech? Spoiler alert, they never were fighting big tech. They were just sitting on their hands until they got censored. And like, you know what? This seems like it's been a problem for years and it's been a massive constitutional problem. Or, I would think in court you could even win since at least April. Shutting down a live stream event because you want to breathe air and go outside and run your business before Amazon steals it. And then a month later, they let people burn down the city. And these people said nothing. It's such a joke. Let's see. Deanna said, I was told from a Dem that you can mail in a vote and still vote in person. How is that moral? I don't think that's true, but the question is, who's counting them? These are real questions. I've always had these questions, and now we live in 1984 thought crime world where if you're like me and you're good at what you do, they steal 80% of your traffic, and then if you say these things, they try to shut it down. For instance, before Trump even got into office, before I was even conservative, I said to myself, how are we voting on digital machines? I'm a computer guy, so I'm like, this is easy to hack. Not for me, I'm not a hacker, but like, you go to DEF CON, which is a hacker, they hack these voting machines like instantly. A good hacker does it quickly, but also any sort of online stuff has always, that's why Tulsi Gabbard tried to pass something, paper-backed ballot. You want every ballot to be accounted for, you want every ballot to be safe. This has nothing to do with even this year. Now you add in this year where people are getting 2, 3, 4, 5 ballots, you have hundreds of thousands of ballots sitting in trash cans and stuff, and on top of it, you just have massive change of rules, which they're not talking about in New Jersey. They mailed everybody a mail-in ballot, and then also they closed down a lot of polling locations and said you can't go. I know in California, I demanded I'm trying to vote in person, but they still sent me a mail-in ballot. It's confusing. Do I mail in this now because I got it, or do I go in person? But if you go in person, you better bring your mail-in ballot because they could say you voted twice. Or it's all confusing. There's never been an election like this, not even close. So why would Facebook and Twitter be trying to stop anyone from talking about it? This is a takeover of the United States government. This is like an authoritarian communist revolution that they're doing this year on every single level. Shut the country down, destroy businesses, blame it on capitalism when it's really communist ideology shutting it, let people out of prison, let high-level pedophiles and high-level criminals out of prison. This has been done over 100 years ago in communist revolutions all across the world, and then they start, fueling protests that turn into riots, that turn into looting, that turn into destruction, and they say nothing about it. They're like a PR team for it. It's mostly peaceful. How dare you? And then, when come election time, they take the legs out of people like me who actually provide honest intel to the people, and then they say that you can't talk about what's different about this election. What's different from this election to 2016? What's different from this election from 2000? It's a different election. We've never had COVID. We've never had a pandemic. We've never had any of this. So you should be allowed to talk about it. You should be allowed to say, anomaly, I disagree with you. I think it's perfectly fine. And I should say, I disagree. I think, this is a little sketchy. It could sway the vote a little bit. And that should be fine. And you could provide your facts and I could show you what I think. And then people can decide for themselves. But we live now in like a communist authoritarian state where you're not allowed to disagree with not the government, with the tech companies that have even more power than the government and are trying to change an election here. And they've done it in other countries. And unfortunately for America, this is, I won't even say karma, but a wake-up call, because when you start funding weird programs with medicine in Africa, nobody knows about it. When you start proxy wars in the Middle East and Syria and you're funding moderate rebels and you try to kill Bashar al-Assad, and then you go to Libya and your politicians are actually funding weapons to try to kill Muammar Gaddafi and it ends up in slavery, and then you have our allies, our great allies that the Republican neocons tell you about how good they are, they're funding and giving weapons to people who are trying to genocide the Armenians for a second time, and you don't hear about it because the entire Republican Party is sold out to that ideology and the Democrats don't care either. When all this happens across the world, we don't know about it. Now that it's all happening here, everybody realizes what's going on. Why is everything shut down? Why don't I have free speech anymore? Why does it seem like they're trying to start a civil war? This is what they do everywhere. These same demons, these same snakes, these same media sources, these same politicians fund proxy wars, cause social division, fund moderate rebels who are really just terrorists like we have now domestically. They've done it multiple places, and now they're trying to do it here. So this whole election is absolutely a power grab, and it should be a power grab in the sense of if Biden wins, Biden wins. If Trump wins, Trump wins. That's what election is, but they don't operate. They're worse than, in some cases, than communist China. In communist China, you could go to Wuhan, where the virus originated, and they're having a pool party months ago. Tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people at a pool party, all without masks on, in the heart of where the virus came from. And in America, you have people still shut down. And if you remember when COVID came out, China had all these propaganda videos of people like passing out. They had hazmat suits and stuff. That was probably conditioning to get everybody else to do it. Now they've been operating fine for a long time, and the rest of the country's bamboozled. They're crushing, they're gaining money, they're gaining power, and our country, the big virus that we got besides the actual virus, was the virus of communism. We are a communist Chinese country now, run by big tech, who wants Joe Biden to be their puppet. So all these people that are censoring me, they're all Democratic operatives, and they brag about it. They're like, I worked for Barbara Boxer, I worked for these people, I worked for a Democratic super PAC. So when I email my connection at Facebook and I say, hey, I got censored and you stole all my money and you stole all my fan subscription, you're doing all this stuff, what did I do? I mean, I looked at the back end, I posted to NBC News, I posted, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck that they're lying. This is like an authoritarian communist power grab. So they're like, nominally you should shut the fuck up because, you have no power here. So just, I know that we're lying, but that's what it is. That's what authoritarian it is. I know that what you're saying might be true, but I'm the boss. So you shut up. We're stealing everything from you. We want Joe Biden to win. That's not word for word what they say, but these are the vibes that I'm getting. It's like they don't care. They got lower level people who probably have no say, and they talk to the higher level people, and all these higher level people just want Joe Biden to win. So they don't operate in a playing field where it's like, we're trying to do what's right. We're trying to follow our own rules. They don't care. They want to win this election so bad. And if they get it, nothing else is going to matter anymore. So it's like the rule of law is not going to matter if the people in charge of the rule of law don't believe in the rule of law. They don't believe in the First Amendment. They don't believe in the Second Amendment. They don't believe I believe in the Sixth Amendment, which is the right to a fair and speedy trial. Correct me if I'm wrong. So what do they believe in? It's like nothing. They're total authoritarians, but you guys know that. I'm gonna read a few more and then I'm out. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate you. And I want to let you guys know too that the white God bless hats are sold out. So they've been selling like hotcakes. They're sold out. They should be back in a week or so. I'm hoping sooner than that. But in general, when the God bless hats come out, I'll let you know. And when they come back out in white, I'm gonna put the God bless hats in black too, so you can buy a black or a white God bless hat. And I'll let you know. But you got to get one if you want one while they're there, because they sell out quickly. Apparently, I didn't even know they could sell out, but they did. Charlotte says they think they could steal, lie, and cheat because they're the good guys by any means necessary. I think a lot of them do operate by that ideology, but it's like having no self-accountability or self-awareness. You just become a huge hypocrite and you become worse than the person, you're trying to fight. It's the same with all these racist people. You notice the funniest thing, like I'm not somebody, I have friends, I have Jewish friends, I have black friends, I have white friends. My friends are not politically correct. So when I'm with my Jewish friend, I make jokes. He doesn't call me an anti-Semite. He says edgy things to me. We don't operate like that. We like each other. My friends are not snowflakes. But the point I'm getting to is when you look at politics, whether it's right-wing or left-wing, the people who cry racism the most are looking for somebody that acts like them to get mad at, if you get what I'm saying. It's like Sean King gets so mad about white supremacists and neo-Nazis. He called Tim Pool a white supremacist. Like Tim Pool's a lot of things. I think he's half Asian, but he's the furthest thing from a radical white supremacist. But it's like Sean King's worst nightmare is somebody who acts like him. He would hate to see a white person who acted like him. And it's the same thing with a lot of these other people. Like they're so about their race, all black this, black that, black college, black owned business. But their worst nightmare is a white person who acted like them. So it's like projection tactics. It's like my friends that are black and Jewish that don't call everybody racist and anti-Semite, they're actually good people and they don't care about words and jokes and stuff. It doesn't bother them, but like they're legit people. It's the people that are the worst people, the most racist, the most tribal, that are the ones that are always trying to stop everybody else from being tribal. It's such a joke. It's like, oh, I'm a feminist and I want to stop sexism. I don't know. I know hundreds of guys. I don't know a single guy who doesn't like women. I mean, some people might be like, yo, she talks too much. They're annoying. I don't want to hang out with them all the time. Men love women. Men love sex. Men love, girlfriends and wives. Men love women. I don't know any man who doesn't like women, not one. So it's like, I know hundreds of feminists who hate men. They're like, I hate men. I want to. It's like, you're looking for yourself. You're like, where's the male version of me that I want to hate? Like, I don't know any. You're the worst. You are the sexist. You hate the other gender. Everyone else just prefers like a traditional lifestyle. So the biggest hypocrites, they become just so wicked because their whole life is to try to stop people from doing what they're doing. And they end up being 30 times worse. Like the amount of, white people that feel how they feel is very small. But if they did, it's like, if you want them to stop acting that way, will you stop acting that way? They're looking for themselves in another race and trying to stop them from doing what they're doing. It's the goofiest freaking thing. But, if that's how they want to live their life, that's up to them. But I'm allowed to talk about it. Oh, sorry. Let's read a few more comments. I got some energy, so. Someone said they overcompensate for their degeneracy. Something like that is quite the phenomenon. If you think about saying, someone said, very true, we love women. That's right. My man Jay here, he likes women. Someone said alpha males love women. Yeah, but it's like, I'm writing a book. It's almost done, but like the word sexist doesn't even make sense from the origin because it's like discriminating against men and women, aka understanding the difference between them. They are different. It's like you might have a woman who's better at something than a man, but like to say that it's exactly the same is just like not true. It's like feminists think you're sexist if you think men and women are different. So it's like then everybody's sexist because how could you not think that they're different? Like it doesn't mean you treat people worse, but there are different roles. For instance, like women create new humans, and that's fantastic. But to pretend like they don't do that is like psychotic. But I guess that's what they want to do. What's up, Gary from Texas? I appreciate you. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it. God bless you guys. And I'll let you know what too. I have a few offers this month. I just got, Facebook just screwed me over. But I'm gonna figure out what to do. I'm resilient, but I'm in the middle of stuff. I have some situations that I'm working on where I might work with some companies. I never work, but now because of this, maybe I'll go on television. I might become an editor and a writer for like a big magazine as well. They want me to do that. But besides that, I'll figure out a way to get around this. So just stay tuned and I'll let you know, because I might change the formatting of my videos. I'm not going to change or sell out or get worse, but I'm smart with how to market it. And if Facebook destroyed my stuff, I might have to go full YouTube. And I don't want to do that, but YouTube pays me ad revenue. YouTube doesn't seem to be throttling as much. So I gotta figure out exactly my game plan for the next 2 months. But I'm finishing my book. That's definitely part of it. I'll let y'all know. Someone said the Twitter trolls attacked Kirsten Alley. She's voting for Trump. Kirsten Alley's been a Trump supporter for years. I don't know why that's surprising. She's been vocally pro-Trump. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell you another unpopular opinion that you won't hear. A lot of Scientologists like President Trump. I believe Kirstie Alley's a Scientologist. Joy Villa's a Scientologist. I have Scientologist friends who love Trump. You would be surprised. In the Scientology community, they're pretty pro-Trump. I'm not sure why. I have no idea exactly what they're doing, but I like Kirstie Alley. I like Joy Villa. I like a lot of Scientologists. I don't get involved with it. If they start texting me or calling me, like trying to recruit me or something, I'm like, stop, or don't do this. But overall, I don't know. I feel like I don't know what they're up to, but I mess with the Scientologists. I actually, when I lived in LA, there's a big, on Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood, there's a big Scientologist situation that they have a museum of like drugs. It's called the Museum of Death. And I had a meeting one time with the lady, I'm not in Scientology, but she wanted to meet with me because she loved my videos. It was like the head Scientologist there. She like understood what Big Pharma was doing. Like a lot of the Scientologists are anti-Big Pharma, and they stop pharmacy stuff. Like they do work to try to stop them from jamming pills down your kid's throat. And they have a great museum in Hollywood. It's phenomenal. They document mind control. They document lobotomy to like pharmacy pill. It's they do really great work. So I'm just going to say that. I'm not co-signing Scientology. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm just going to say from living in Los Angeles, they cleaned up Hollywood more than anyone else did. They have cool museums, and a lot of their supporters like Kirstie Alley and Joy Villa, they like Trump, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but I feel like, I like a few of them. They seem like they're pretty open-minded and they're not as brainwashed, which is weird because everyone thinks of them as like, oh my God, they're so brainwashed. But it's like, what does that say about our society that the group that you guys think is brainwashed seems to be less brainwashed than the average person? Someone's like, I'm an atheist and I have a PhD. To me, they're more brainwashed than the Scientologists. I'm like, I'm not sure what they believe in or what they're doing there. It's a little bit culty, and, they like stop you with like, I don't know, they harass you sometimes or whatever. But overall, I'm like, I don't know, they seem to be a little less brainwashed than the average like MSNBC watcher. But that's just my unpopular take on it. Let's see. I'm not involved in it. I'm just giving an unpopular take that you're not going to hear anywhere else. Do I think Trump can win California? Can he win? Yes. Will he win? No. I think he could win the election, but I think California is a long way away. Who knows though? I mean, the polls are BS. So I think positive thoughts. I don't want to bring you down, but I don't think he will. But sheesh, I think he could land. I think he could get, I was thinking about it the other day. If he got 63 million votes or whatever, 60 million plus, am I wrong to think he can get 100 million votes? I think potentially Trump could get 100 million votes. I think he's at least 2 times as big as he was in 2016. So it's not that crazy to think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm in an echo chamber where I don't see what other people think, but I almost feel like he could just steamroll this election. But it could also be close. This is such an unpredictable election, but I would like to think that anything's possible, but probably not California. However, I don't know. I've seen crazier things happen. New York? I think he'll get more votes in New York than California, but I don't know. Everybody seems like they're leaving, so we'll see. Isaac said, hey, Anomaly, will you get the coronavirus vaccine when it comes out? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not afraid of this virus. I think a large portion of people who got it were asymptomatic and they didn't even know they had it. Some did. They lost taste. I mean, some people got it really bad, but my immune system's good. I would not feel comfortable getting a rushed vaccine. In general, I think if I've learned anything from this year, and I've always been skeptical of Big Pharma, I've always been skeptical of pharmacy pills and vaccines. If I've learned anything this year, it's that anything I thought about Big Pharma and politicians and the collaboration between Bill Gates and World Health Organization and Facebook, anything that I already thought, because I already knew this stuff, it's 20 times as corrupt as I thought it was. So I've never been an anti-vaxxer or like anti-science or medicine. I'm not that type of person. I'm just use my brain. I couldn't possibly be less impressed by Bill Gates and World Health. I would never get it. I would rather fight somebody than them try to force that down me. So I would never get it. I've always known they were corrupt, and this year they proved to me they were 10 times as corrupt as I even thought they were. These people are just deranged. So I mean, it's hard to trust people who have like so much derangement syndrome that they can't even do science. I'll give you one example, and then we'll move on. The Lancet study, Lancet does, virology and stuff like that. They're pretty well known, and I would have to look up their infectious diseases is the proper term, I guess. The Lancet study did a false study in hydroxychloroquine, and they retracted it. Why did they do a false study in hydroxychloroquine? It's not random. They hate Trump, and liberals have gone insane. They can't do real science. I'm big on science, water, air. Liberals used to be better at this stuff. I mean, in some cases they still are, but like they used to be like super environmental friend. Now you can't even clean your own city. How big of an environmentalist can you be when you have the worst oceans, the worst air, the worst trash problems, and you're talking shit to South Dakota? They don't have these pollution problems. So you get what I'm saying? I don't trust these scientists. Unfortunately, they've proven to me that they're willing to lie and falsify studies just to achieve a political agenda. And if you do that, you're not a scientist. I mean, the science behind masks, guys, it's common sense. I'm going to give you an example. If I go into, say, Cheesecake Factory, if I walk into Cheesecake Factory, they'll say to me, you have to wear a mask. Do you have a mask? Wear a mask. And you know what I do? I put a mask over my face for 5 seconds, guys. 5 seconds, and then I sit down. What if my mask was filled with piss and shit? What if it was just dripping urine and feces? They wouldn't care. They would rather me put that on. They would allow me to walk in with shit and piss dripping off my mask quicker than they would allow me to just breathe the air. They have these mask mandates, and they're not thinking how dirty or clean are the masks. The lady says, oh, I'll get you a mask, and she puts her hand on the mask. I would never let this woman, no offense, I would never let her touch my face. I hate when people touch my face. You know why? Because I don't want to get sick, and I don't get sick anymore because I don't put my hands in my mouth. So if somebody else puts their hand on a mask and puts it in my face, it's like you putting your hand in my face. It's so unsanitary, but these idiots don't care. I'm actually kind of a germaphobe, and this whole mask thing is retarded. Excuse me for my language, but retarded, if you look up in the dictionary, it means to, the opposite of progress. It's actually a good word, and they act like it's a hate speech word. No, but it's a real dictionary word. The point I'm getting to is this makes no sense. Wear it for 5 seconds, even if it's dirty. Here, let me give you a dirty one to put on your face for 5. It's disgusting. And people are such idiots. At this point, they might as well replace people with robots. Like, what's the point of even being a human? You're not even a human. I go out, they have a black glass door, I put a mask on, I do this, I sit down, it's like she's got a mask on, she can't even breathe, it's 90 degrees, and you're forcing people to do, hard labor in the sun. You might as well be a freaking horse or a robot. And I'm not saying that to be mean, I'm saying that to defend working class people. I watch these idiots behind glass doors, they don't wear a mask, the upper management and stuff, and they're making decisions, and these politician morons making decisions where people are doing hard labor for 12 hours in Texas or California with a mask on. You know how hard it is to do farm work, let alone with a mask on? This is insane. I wear it for 10 minutes, and I can't breathe because it's 80 degrees outside. I mean, this is idiotic. This is so stupid. They don't care how dirty your mask is. They would rather you put a mask on your face that you've had for 10 days, that you've wiped your butt with, that you've left outside, that you've put on 50 different things, and slam it in front of your face. I'm a germaphobe. I don't put my hands on my face. Other people's hands don't go on my face. I freak out if they do that because it's gross. So why would I want someone to put their hand on something and then put it over my face? It's freaking disgusting. There's no science behind it. And Fauci knows this, and he said it in March. And now Instagram is censoring you if you put a Fauci's video up. He's been a virologist at a top level, or a bureaucrat rather, at a virology or infectious disease government thing for, I mean, he's almost 90 or 80 now. The dude's freaking super old. He looks good for his age, not gonna lie. But in general, he said this earlier this year. This is not new. He's been studying this stuff for decades. Why did he say this in January? They fact check it now. They're like, that's not what he meant. No, that's what he meant. They just changed their mind. It's just like everybody should go inside, and then a month later, everyone should go outside. So if everyone should go outside because we can't eat inside, then why the F did you force us inside for a month? And then all the deaths were. Did you ever think maybe that's what killed people? You have thousands of people who can't get cancer surgery. You know, I know people, my friend's over, and he told me that his friend got cancer, and it got worse because they couldn't get screening. They considered that elective surgery, couldn't get a cancer screening. Now he has a cancer that's going to kill him. How many people died because of these idiot demon scum? And now you can't even talk about it. They're just like, wear a mask. This is slavery, guys. This is like communist authoritarian slavery. And I know it's slavery, and I'm not a coward like most of the GOP, and I'm not a liar selling you bullshit socialism sucks shirts all year, and then socialism comes to the country, and I don't say shit about it I'm not a coward, so they have to cut my traffic so they could redirect you to these other Republican idiots who just sell you lies all year, and then when push comes to shove, they do nothing. Oh, we're fighting the tech, big tech. It's a week before the election, you morons. You had all year to fight big tech. You had people getting kicked off 2 years ago, 3 years ago. You have a sitting, congresswoman who, or maybe will be a congresswoman soon. She's trying to be. Laura Loomer got kicked off years ago for some BS reason. I mean, she talks a lot of shit and does stuff, but the reason she got kicked off made no sense. Her tweet was like pretty mild, to be honest, considering what she does. So where were you then? Where were you earlier this year? These people are such idiots. But that's why they censor me, because I know that this is bullshit. I actually did real reporting all year. I mean, I'm not patting myself on the back, but if this were a fair country, I'd win a Pulitzer Prize. My reporting is, on Tucker Carlson level. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying it's true. The coronavirus reporting I did this year, you look at my top 10 coronavirus videos, they're better than anything you see on television, which is why some of them have 6, 7, 11 million views. That's why I got 600 million views. It's no secret. I don't have money. I don't have a big budget. I mean, now I have money saved because I'm not an idiot, but I'm just saying I'm not out here promoting this stuff on a major television network. So these are the games that they play. And I'm going to talk my shit while I still can because I have to write my history, okay? They're going to lie about me. Anomaly was a far-right radical, blah, blah, blah. No, shut up. I'm, legend, hip-hop artist, news analyst, 600 million views, entrepreneur, destroying big tech and mainstream media with a cell phone and no team, just destroying everybody. So that's my real history. I'm just documenting it now. Save this video. So when they say, Anomaly was a far-right radical, work for the white, it's like, no, that's just what you said. You're a liar. Kathy Griffin said, I agree 1,000%. They should have done this months ago. They had after the lockdown, this is the smoking gun. Facebook censored a protest in April. They should have acted at least in April. Someone said, I'll pat you on the back. Your words push my arguments. All right, Ryan, appreciate you. Hopefully you don't get in too many arguments. Someone said, I don't know. You guys are arguing with you. Stephanie says, I refuse to wear a mask. I will take my business elsewhere. If they have a problem, I tell them no thanks. Yeah, I got my space helmet. I walk in and I just make fun of them. I'll do it real quick. Everybody loves it. Hold on. This is a huge hit. So anytime they try to make me wear a mask out here, I just put this on. I put that on like that, and I start screaming at people. I start saying, I ate outdoors somewhere the other day. I was outdoors, and I thought because it's outdoors, she's not going to make me wear a mask, but I still brought this. She's like, do you mind wearing your mask for 4 seconds while you're walking to your outdoor seat? I'm like, is this Idiot, kidding me? So she says that to me with some smug look, and I was like, oh, don't worry, I have a mask. And I put it on, I'm like, you know what? And then I start just talking. I'm like, you should get one of these because what you're wearing doesn't have full protection. So COVID could be anywhere. And I was just like screaming at her as I'm going to my table, just trying to make her feel like an idiot. Like, you want to play this game? This is how I play, okay? I don't get mad. I don't cry about it. I just act even crazier than they act and make them think twice. Like, maybe, should I have a helmet like that? Am I not doing enough? No, you're an idiot, Becky. No offense, not you. But in general, it's like, you're such an idiot for thinking I need to wear a mask outdoors, not even going indoors for 3 seconds, and then I sit down and take my mask off. You're a sheep, okay? This is why these people get away with slavery and murder, because idiots like you think some made up stuff. Well, the virus can spread for 3 seconds when you're walking the street. But as soon as he sits down, it just disappears. And what a smart virus. The virus sits down with me. You see coronavirus, it takes a seat next to me. It's like, so, sir, I'll have a butternut squash soup and a filet mignon. COVID's like ordering food with me or something. And the second I get up out of my table, like, sir, sorry, I don't want to bother you, but it's for your own safety and it's for your own health. Can you put your disgusting, dirty cloth mask that I just gave you over your face for 5 seconds? It's not for me. It's for your own health. It's not for my health. I'm you see me working out, looking good. I could run 5 miles, probably not even get tired. I could probably bike to, New Jersey from here. I'm just kidding. I'm not that. I can't even, to be honest, I biked. I gotta calm down. I bought a bike at Dick's Sporting Goods and I biked like 2 miles yesterday and I was beat. I was like, I don't know if I've ever really biked because I biked at my friend's and he had like a nice electric bike and the electric bike goes for you. So I'm biking uphill and the electric bike's going, I'm like, this is easy. I mean, I'm a biker. I thought I was like Lance Armstrong or whatever is that the one? Yeah, Lance Armstrong. And then I get a real shitty bike and now I'm going up a hill. I'm like, I can't do it. I'm like, this is way harder than I thought. So I'm not a biker, but you get what I'm saying. I'm in good shape. I don't need to wear a cloth over my face for 5 seconds. These idiots like, it's for your own safety. Put on the helmet and just be like, oh, this is for your own safety. People hate me with this thing on. They either love it or hate it. People who know what time it is love it. The Nancy Karens, they get upset. They're like, it's like, just stop. Just stop, okay? What are you gonna do this? Is this your personality now? You're gonna do this till you're freaking 50? Like, oh man, I just remember the days when I didn't do this, but now it's just stop. Why are people doing this? I feel like I'm living in a stupid video game. It's annoying. I got energy. I'll go for 15 more minutes max, and then I gotta get out of here. My husband used to bike 10 miles till he had a stroke, said Maureen. Well, God bless you, Maureen. God bless your husband. I'm sorry to hear that. Prayers up. Life is crazy. As you get older, things start working less. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm starting to, if life were a mountain, and I'm not saying when you're older, you get wiser, you have fun, maybe you make money, you go on vacation, maybe you don't. But it's like a mountain. And I'm at that point right now, like everything's going to start to decline at this point. So I'm trying to have a good year. I'm going to be a travel blogger this month. I'm going somewhere with my friend and I'll take a video there. But yeah, I'm at that point now. I'm trying to bike while I can because I know in 10 years I'm going to be like, fuck. So, excuse my language. Someone said mask it. Rebecca said mask it or casket. That's what my liberal friends say. How? That's mask it or wear a mask or everyone's going to die. Yeah, for 5 seconds. Do they not realize this? It's so stupid. I got to calm down. I don't even care anymore. They took my money. They took all my perks. They took my live stream money. And I'm fine. I don't need money, but I'm like, I used to make over $100 every time I live streamed. And I still live stream just as much because I like talking to people. I do this anyway. I'll figure out a way. But it's like they took everything from me. I was going somewhere with that. Hold on, I got to read the comments. I don't remember what I was saying. I don't even remember. I just froze up. I had a point I was making. I wasn't just complaining about Facebook again. I'm over it. I was getting somewhere. I don't remember what I was going to say. Whatever. Fuck them. Oh, I remember now. I don't care anymore. I used to watch what I said semi. In general too, I know sometimes kids watch this, so I probably should. But I was so careful. I was so careful with what I said that they had to take everything away from me over an NBC article and a CDC article. This is how stupid these people are. I left them no way to censor me because I'm too good at what I do, and they still censor me. So now I'm saying, fuck it. Fuck your masks. I'm wearing this. Suck it. Excuse my language. Sorry. I didn't mean to say that, but I'm so tired of these people. It's like I did everything right, and they're like, well, you're right. I'm wrong, but I'm a bad person, so I'm going to steal everything from you because I want Joe Biden to win. Fuck Joe Biden, okay? How do you like that? Fuck Joe Biden. Fuck you too. Not you. I like you if you're watching. Any kids watching, I apologize. It's time to go to bed. It's like, if you're on the East Coast, it's 10:47. You shouldn't watch TV past 10 o'clock. One, you should go to bed early. Two, that's when those shows start coming on that only the parents can watch. So you shouldn't even be here. Someone said you could swear now. I don't know. I mean, in general, it's not like you can't curse, but I wanted to give them I'm not going to say the word retarded, even though the word retarded is a great word. It's a word in I have under this, I can't bring it up because I'm propping up my shit on it, excuse my language, an 1828 dictionary. The word retarded is a great word, but I didn't use it because I knew these little sneaky Stalinite Nazi, commies didn't like it. So then I'm doing all this great work, and they're like, oh, I can't figure out a way to say it's fake because everything he's saying is real. Oh, my God, he's posting NBC articles. We admitted it last month. So they flagged me for a freaking NBC article. I can't even post NBC. Fuck you, Facebook. Okay, and fuck you too, Joe Biden, and all your little lackeys who want you to win. You're so stupid, and you guys are so bad at your job that you flagged me for posting an NBC News article. That's how good I am. They're like, it's Breitbart and Alex Jones. It's not Breitbart and Alex Jones. It's NBC. This is liberal. Oh, well, now we don't want to vote liberal. Now it's bad because Fauci said that and he said that. Fuck you guys, okay? You can't post the World Health Organization. They changed their mind. Well, fuck them too. Fuck the World Health Organization and fuck you too, okay? Oh, well, no, we said that, but now we changed our mind. Yeah, I know. You guys fucking suck at your job. That's the whole reason I'm employed. You suck, okay? Your experts suck. Your phony politicians suck. Half of them are just communists in disguise trying to reframe the world in their retarded ideology that won't even work in San Francisco and Los Angeles. We have an idea that's so complex. Then why the fuck does Los Angeles and San Francisco look that bad? Because it doesn't work, you idiots. Overtax everybody, highest taxes, one of the highest taxes, most poverty. We can't, because you guys are idiots. So I don't even care. Well, you can't understand what they said before because they never fucking get it right. It's 3.4. It's 0.01. It's worse than this. You can't say it's worse than this. Don't wear a mask. Wear a mask. You can't wear a mask. The Surgeon General, that moron, said you shouldn't wear a mask, and then he turns around and says you should wear a mask. And then he said, we got new information. You didn't get fucking new information. They just changed their mind. You should stay indoors. Now you should go outside. Well, if indoors is bad, well, then you fucked us for 3 weeks because you made us go indoors, and then you told us I can't go to the fucking park. I can't go to the park. I can't play at the park. I can't go to the ocean, but I could sit in my fucking house with my family, and then all these people are dying, and then you realize how bad it is, so you make me go outside. Now I can't sit inside. Fuck you guys. Fuck the World Health Organization. Fuck Facebook. Fuck Fauci. Fuck Joe Biden just because. Fuck these people. I don't care anymore. I did all the good work, I did all the right things, and they fucked me. Fuck you guys. Excuse me. Sorry if there's kids still watching. You should have left 5 minutes ago. I gave you the warning. I dropped a few curses to show you that it was coming. Told you to go talk to your parents. It's game over. All right, that looks like it's past my bedtime. God bless you guys. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. I'll be out. If you like my stuff, just keep watching. If you can even watch, I would say try to follow my page and click that button that says you're extra subscribed or something, although they probably rigged that too, like the coward evil demons they are. But, I got an Instagram, instagram.com/dreamrare, which is also owned by Facebook, so they're going to steal that. I got Parler, parler.com/dreamrare. I'm starting to talk more shit on there. That's kind of fun. Twitter, Legendary Energy, I got Patreon, whatever. I answer all messages on Patreon. I can't answer Facebook messages. I can't answer Instagram messages anymore. I can only answer Patreon messages, so that's my perk. I don't do all this other shit, excuse my language, but I already fucked this whole live stream up. I'm just gonna keep cursing, and then I'll come back and not curse again. But in Patreon, I don't have things to give away. I don't have a little secret behind the scenes podcast. It's like, who the fuck wants to do that? I know people do, like, who wants to watch a podcast behind a paywall? Just put your fucking podcast on YouTube or don't. You know, it's like, oh, I want to watch 30 more minutes of Anomaly. You get 20 hours of me here for free. Why would you do that? So I don't do any of that bullshit. I just answer messages because I feel like, one, I'd rather put all my content for everybody, but also, you know, I just can't answer messages. So that's what we're doing on Patreon. Dream Rare, these hats are sold out. I mean, maybe I'll sell this one. Maybe I'll mark it up to like $10,000 and try to make some money off this one because it's like a piece of gold or something. It's very rare. They don't have them anymore. But they'll be back on dreamrare.com. Got the God is Great hats. I got Alyssa crushing the merchandise for me. She's making designs. She's fantastic. Modern day Picasso, except for, you know, shirts and such. Maybe an overstatement, but I don't think so. Fantastic work. I'll get some more designs and stuff for you. Appreciate you guys. I got some moves to be made. Have a good day. I'll be back soon. Thanks for hanging out with me. And, you know, we'll figure out a way through this. But I'll be voting Republican down the ballot. And I hope these cowards do not get the White House because they already rig everything and work with foreign countries more than America. So the last thing these people need is the White House. Let's be honest, folks. Have a good day. I'll be back soon. And hopefully this video doesn't get flagged.